So anyway, this event is actually brought to us by CCG Philippines, our community. It is a leadership search and development company. You may be wondering why it is called CCG. You know, in astronomy, there is an alignment of three heavenly bodies. So in our community, CCG Philippines, we are a community that empowers professional and in a holistic approach to being optimally healthy, wealthy, and wise. So for tonight, every Sunday, we have our optimal health. And this time, we're going to have optimal health for kids. Our speaker will share her 10 health habits for kids. So, by the way, I am Cherise Lopez. I am actually a business owner based in Dumaguete City, and I will be your host for tonight. So, quick shout out to our guidelines before we start. Please use our chat box and type down your city, your name, your occupation, and I will be reading them shortly. And right after the events, please take note. You can actually type down also your questions for our speaker, and we can read them out afterwards. This event is actually on recording. If you would like to share it with your friends and families after, we will be forwarding the recording of our event. And we're going to have a small breakout room if you have any follow-up questions from the person who invited you tonight. All right. We will be muted. Everyone will be muted, but please switch on your camera for better engagement so we can see your beautiful faces. All right. And yep, let me see who's in with us tonight. We have Ariel Dries from Makati. Good evening, Ariel. We also have our co-founder of CCG Philippines, Quezon City-based Miss Olivia Bernabé. Good evening and welcome everyone. She's welcoming everyone. So also our yep. We have Loreto of from Gaspi City. Hi, Loreto. Good evening. Welcome. And we also have Aya Nadella. Maayong gabi isa tanan. Greetings from Cebu City. That's very nice. Maayong gabi ipod. And good evening from Titus Manuel, based in Quezon City, working as an IT and privacy consultant. Please keep on coming, guys, and let's our chat box lively for your questions, and we can our speaker can answer that later on. All right. Yep. Without further ado, I would like to call on our speaker. But before that, I would like to give her a little bit of her background. She is actually a nurse and a teacher by profession. She graduated cum laude from the University of the Philippines, and she has received academic awards in her master's in special education. So she found joy and passion in teaching kids with exceptional needs and help these kids integrate into normal society. With her thorough experience, we are honored that she took time to be with us tonight to give us some insights how to, prepare and practice kids to having a healthy habits. All right, without further ado, would like to call on Miss Romina Rizarri. Hi, Miss Romina.
Good evening. Thank you, Cherise, for the kind words. Let's set up my presentation. It's wonderful to see so many faces, but it's going to distract me. Um, I'm going to not see everybody. I will just read my notes. But like Cherise said, if you have questions, please write them in the chat box. I'll interact with that at the end. Okay, so Cherise was saying my background is in nursing and special education. I actually serve vulnerable children. My practice helps them learn to read, count, and write. The pandemic actually forced all of us to learn at home. And in that process, most of them gained weight. And this actually reflects a trend recently observed in our country and around the world. So more children are becoming overweight and obese. And finally, my nurse hat is back on right now, very busy. helping families teach kids healthier habits. And tonight, I picked 10 that I would like to share with all of you. It's going to be a short talk. When I rehearsed, it was only 15 minutes. Now, I hope I can talk longer. Let's see. The first habit, very simple, eat vegetables. Okay, this is actually a very popular request of parents. How do I get the child to eat vegetables? So, the earlier we start, the better. Okay, in fact, some researchers have pointed out that what a mother eats during pregnancy affects what a baby prefers to eat later on. So that's really setting the bar high, no? Regarding example. You're setting an example before a child is even born. Okay. Research also confirms that what the mother eats while she breastfeeds also affects the preference of that baby later on. Okay. So the mother doesn't stop eating healthy when the baby is born. Okay. So the suggestion is to highlight the vegetable instead of hiding it. Why? Because vegetables are actually very interesting. They have vibrant colors. In one of the book talks, I mentioned that colors actually are joyful and vegetables are actually versatile. No? So you can serve them raw. Some kids like it crunchy, so they can chew, no? Carrot sticks. You can serve them steamed. They can be fried, and now it's popular. They can be air fried, roasted, and more. Na? Vegetables also allow you to explore texture, temperature, and shapes. Na? In fact, if I can highlight a vegetable, the cauliflower can transform completely. Na? A steamed cauliflower is very different to a cauliflower rice that mimics chow fan in flavor, and very different also with the cauliflower pizza crust. Na? Zucchini is another vegetable like that. With the right tools, you can even make it resemble spaghetti noodles. Na? So you need tools. Maybe you'd like to explore vegetable shape cutters, especially with younger kids. You can explore also fun, cute food pics. Na? And you can also Google food art and play around with vegetables as your materials. Another suggestion is to involve the children when shopping for vegetables and encouraging them to help prepare vegetables in dishes. So that's the first habit, eat vegetables. The second one is to eat meat. Now, all kinds of meat. As soon as the child actually is ready for solid food, which starts around 6 months, there are prerequisites. You can ask your therapist or your doctor about it. You can already consider feeding him different kinds of meat. Now, why? The brain and the body is developing very rapidly, and he really needs quick access to nutrients which are available in real food. So, meats actually provide essential amino acids in the correct ratios and the completely bioavailable forms of the following, like heme iron. You get that from red meat, choline, zinc, and vitamins B6 and B12. Now, what's nice about meat is it is also satisfying because it has healthy fat in it. And this also prevents inflammation in the body and insulin resistance. In fact, if you look at anthropology, scientifically, we are mammals, and all mammals learn to eat what their mothers eat as soon as they are born. Okay? So the third habit, eat fat. So why again? The brain uses more energy than any human organ in the body. So breast milk is actually very high in fat because the brain is mostly made of fat. No? Ketones are actually the byproduct of burning fat for fuel. They can very easily pass the blood-brain barrier, and brain cells prefer ketones for fuel. So what kind of fat am I talking about? Essential fats. Now, why? They provide EPA, no, for heart health and DHA for brain health. And fat is anti-inflammatory. Now, we usually consume already a lot of omega-6 from our food, our oils. No? So we really need to supplement omega-3 to maintain optimal ratio. No? Because it's really supposed to be 1:1, omega-3 and omega-6. So where do we find these healthy essential fats? In fish, like mackerel, salmon, sardines, that's part of the meats. No? In nuts and seeds, in a fruit, avocado, dairy products, and very cheap eggs. Now, they all contain essential fats. Okay, habit number 4, drink water. I hope you're not a parent who's struggling with this. No? Why? Because the brain uses up to 20% of the body's energy. No? It needs to stay hydrated to work very well. And what's the preferred drink of the brain? Water. No? The brain accepts water for hydration best. So drinking water also helps you eat at the right time because you will realize that you are mostly thirsty, not really hungry. If you want some variety because you get bored with your water, consider adding lemon, no, to your glass of water. Lemon water does not break even your fast. What kind of water? Warm water because it promotes digestion. And it also helps the intestines to contract, which expedites elimination. So children who don't eat enough vegetables, fish, tofu, almonds, cheese, may also consider drinking milk since it is also able to provide calcium. Yeah? But some of my readings have pointed out that you may want to consider almond milk because they apparently have more calcium than cow's milk. Okay, next. Habit 5. I'm halfway. You only have to count 10. Eat on schedule. Okay, the younger the child, the more actually they fast. No? They usually sleep 12 to 16 hours as newborns. And the main source of fuel of the body is ketones because the child burns fat for energy. No? And it also helps, I mentioned a while ago, no? It also helps the young brain grow fast and develop well. So fasting also allows the different organs to synchronize their clocks and work together. Huh? Fasting also triggers the release of the human growth hormone and autophagy for body's repair and development. Let's encourage the child to eat on a schedule, because we assume responsibility for his habits anyway. And what do I mean by that? 3 meals a day. If I may suggest, no snacks and no grazing. How are they different? A snack is usually on schedule also, but it happens 2 hours after the previous meal. And grazing is non-stop eating, no schedule, mindless. Okay? Why only 3 meals a day? This will keep the insulin working efficiently and it will prevent insulin resistance. Number 6, sleep. Yeah? Kids actually need to sleep at the same time every day. They need at least 11 hours for toddlers, 10 hours for preschool age children, 9 hours for school age years, and 8 hours for teenage years. You notice the older you are, the less sleep you get. So a good sleep helps them make human growth hormones. I mentioned that a while ago also. And this is responsible for repair, for the growth of muscles, tissues, and very important, bones. Na? Actually, sleep triggers rapid growth spurts. Because we expect kids to grow 2 inches a year from ages 1 up to puberty and 4 inches a year from puberty up to the time they stop growing, which is like 18 or 20. When I learned this was my utmost regret. I think I stopped growing at 9. I'm a very short woman. And it's probably because I don't sleep. No, I didn't like sleeping well. How do you encourage a good bedtime? Well, you may encourage early to bed, no, routines. No? I'll explain that later on. So you set the stage. The lights are dim, the temperature is cool, and there's a good bedtime story, maybe a prayer and a hug from mom and dad. The last bite of food and the sip of water is about 3 hours before bedtime. The screens, digital, phone, everything, computer, TV, are off about an hour before bedtime. And why early to bed? Because you should refrain from waking them up too early. So, they wake up when their eyes are ready, they will feel rested and refreshed. No? So, what about early to school? Exactly. That's why early to bed. No? So they will spontaneously wake up at 6 o'clock, which is just hopefully enough time for them to prepare for school. Number 7, I'm almost at the end. Move, okay? This is actually the preferred way of weight loss for children. Now, regular physical activity helps children improve their fitness, build strong bones and muscles, control their weight, and reduce symptoms of anxiety or even depression. So children are naturally boisterous, energetic, and malikot, no? The Tagalog will call it like that. Or some people even like to label it hyperactive. So let's encourage this natural desire to move every day. No? Do chores together. It adds up. No? If it's possible, walk to do your errands. No? Maybe walk to the store, no? Walk to the library if it's possible. Take stairs, no? Instead of elevators. Take your pet outside for walks. No? The heavier they are, it might be prudent to consider swimming together because they appear and feel weightless in water. If you have to be indoors, we did that for a while during the pandemic. You may consider dancing together. Huh? Ride bicycles if you have a place to go to. And when the children are older, maybe consider helping them join a team sport. No? Make movement fun and a bonding experience as a family. Finally, be an example. No? Stay fit and active. Wear a fitness watch because it keeps you mindful of how much you move. My watch actually vibrates every 2 hours to remind me to stretch. Okay, so I also rest my eyes. Let your child watch you move or join you in a favorite movement program. Maybe you're dancing together, like I said, or maybe you are involved in sports. Number 8, take supplements. Huh? Optimal health is actually achieving your best health possible. Taking supplements is a habit that helps achieve optimal health. I suggest you consider Nutrilite supplements because they are the safest supplements for children. They grow, harvest, and process plants into supplements from the oldest certified organic farms. The Nutrilite Health Institute leads in nutrigenomics, which is the study of how nutrients influence the expression of genes. Nutrilite is at the Hall of Fame for good agricultural practices and good manufacturing processes. Children will benefit from a multi, even for brain health. It has vitamins already, minerals, and for Nutrilite, phytonutrients or plant nutrients. This will ensure your daily optimal nutrition, your insurance. Okay. For some of us, we also need chewable fruits and vegetables because it already gives 5 servings of fruits and vegetables every day. It also helps the child tolerate the smell and taste of different fruits and vegetables early. Remember habit number 1, eat vegetables. Acerola C adds more vitamin C for boosting their immune system. They're already going to school. They will be exposed to colds and cough from classmates as well. And I noticed even with special kids who are prone to that, they don't catch it quickly when they are maintained on acerolacine. And finally, the essential fats from omega-3 complex for the very important brain food, DHA. This is very good for learning, for focus, and memory. It is also possible to access it in chewable form. Ask your friend about brainiums. Number 9, play. Play can improve a child's ability to plan, organize, get along with others, and regulate emotions. Play helps with language, math, and even helps with coping with stress. For a child, play is actually work, and his work should be playful. What do I suggest? Maybe you can explore play and joyful experiences as a family. Try visiting the playground near you, any beautiful park, maybe a garden, or even go camping. You may want to visit zoos, amusement parks if you have that in your community, or the local library. Our library actually has a nook for young readers, and sometimes they have storytelling time. Yeah? Quick excursions will teach the child many things about his community, and these experiences will also teach him what he likes and what he would like to explore in terms of skills or hobbies. And number 10, I told you this is a short talk. Choose health. No, eating out or eating at parties are experiences every child needs to navigate, especially the older he gets. So the last habit is to choose health as much as possible, as often as possible. Always teach the child to choose the healthier options. What are my example? Maybe you're eating out for breakfast. Encourage the child to eat the dish of eggs. No? Maybe it's an omelette instead of picking up the pancakes. Okay? Maybe if you're eating chicken, encourage the child to eat the roasted chicken instead of the fried chicken, which is usually using flour and no, in the batter. Maybe in a movie house, they can eat hot dogs on a stick instead of a big uh, tub of popcorn. No? Or if you're eating ribs, no? As a family, maybe you can ask the server to serve the sauce as a dip instead of slathering it over the ribs, which will force you actually to eat more rice, no? Because the taste is overwhelming. Some people really like their fries, no? Maybe you can explore cheese sticks instead. No? At least there's more protein than just the French fries. And for dessert, you may want to ask for any fruit in season, a bowl of that, which is actually healthier than cake, pie, or ice cream. The family that eats healthy together stays healthy much longer. And remember, your health is a very precious gift to your family. I enjoyed sharing my ideas on 10 health habits I wish every family can have. And I pray we all have the energy and strength to be our best every day. Thank you. I give you back to Cherise.
Thank you, Miss Romina, for that practical tips and sharings and explanation of 10 practical tips for the kids. Actually, it is practical also practical tips also for adults. I think so. Our viewers and our colleagues are actually thanking you for a
I
very
have
nice
questions.
presentation of veggies. And I saw Miss Oliva saying, nice presentation of your veggies, and Dr. Roel saying, cute slides. It actually brings out the kid spirit in us, you know. Thank you so much. I got so many practical tips from you. And Miss Olivia was saying that 17-year-old grandson, step grandson, saying yak to vegetables. Do you have any practical tips for that? It's 17-year-old already, so it's practically, almost adult. Do you have?
Actually, it's harder when they're older. I was able to brainwash a 5-year-old that his favorite food is broccoli, but a 17-year-old you can't. They'll be sarcastic. Um, Recruit peer pressure. That's my suggestion. With teenage years, sometimes school age years already, the influence of the peers are very strong. So maybe he can join an excursion because that's a thing now in Cebu, no? Groups of boys, they'll do some camping, they'll pick some vegetables and they cook it with their dishes as Boy Scouts and whatnot. So at least it forces him to eat because his comrades are eating it also. And then maybe he I hope no, he gets attracted to a girl who eats vegetables because that will also help. No, the at that age, girls are finally becoming interesting. And when he goes on dates, she might just drag him to something that's more plants than meat, no? Mhm. But don't make it a topic to argue about. I try not to um, make an issue of what people should eat. But I do challenge children because sometimes I tell them, send me a video of your mukbang, no? Healthy mukbang. So the child sends me, he's licking a fruit, and he's laughing because he sees videos like that. But we get him interested because I keep saying, I'm bored. You keep eating nuggets. Eat something else. So it became fun. Try not to fight about food, but you create a dish that makes it interesting. If he's interested in a certain athlete or a certain celebrity, you can research. Maybe that person has a strict diet, so you can tell your child, oh, you can eat like him. It might be like that. He needs to look at somebody he respects, and that's not you, I'm sorry to say, who eats vegetables and who might encourage him to try it also. It's Korean now is very popular, and most of their food mixes a lettuce with meat. So maybe he can explore it as well.
Okay. Thank you so much for that, Ms. Romina. Before we proceed, we continue our Q&A. Let's have some videos first of our partner Nutrilite. Ryan?
It starts with you because it ends with you. Every step, every process, every decision, we do it with you in mind. That's traceability. And it's just another day at Nutrilite. It starts with owning our own organic farms and the purity of process that comes with it. Everything we grow sustainably and without harmful pesticides on over 6,000 acres of certified organic farmland. Everything we nourish starts with a seed. Pure and honest, healthy and good. We carefully choose the richest botanicals and extract only the purest nutrients. We track, trace, and tag every seed, every plant, every ingredient, obsessively tending to them so they can do the same for you. And we document, review, check, and recheck every detail along the way, so you have peace of mind knowing our products are safe and effective, from seed to package to you. And while some might call this over the top, we have another name for it: Nutrilite. Nutrilite. Plant, grow, thrive.
Kids love colors, but they don't always eat their fruits and veggies. That's why we include rich plant nutrients from the colors of the food groups in our products. And they all come in fun formats that kids love, like gummies, jelly splats, smoothies, and tasty powders. Also, everything we make is created by a real mom with a PhD in nutrition, meaning all our products meet the daily requirements their active bodies need, like vitamin K to grow strong bones, zinc for immunity, and vitamin A and lutein to help their eyes score those winning goals. Plus, they are all made with plants grown on our Nutrilite and partner farms, so you always know they're pure and safe, healthy, fun to eat, and good for kids. What's not to love? Nutrilite Kids. We grow plants so you can grow kids.
All right, thank you for that. That is actually our partner supplement, Nutrilite, as shared by Miss Romina. And yes, our chat box is actually very alive. And yep, Miss Romina is answering also by chat. So Ian asked, how do you reply to someone who insists that potato French fries are vegetables, which is true? And yeah, so Miss Romina, can you share your
Yeah.
answer here?
Well, my answer to that is blueberry cheesecake is also a fruit. That was my answer before because I really like blueberry cheesecake. Anyway, tongue in cheek, everybody knows they're cracking a joke. They know the truth the older they are. Just smile, make a non-issue of it, but start eating your food. And the more worried you are about, French fries, you can remove apps like, Food Panda and Grab from devices so nobody orders it in. And if you don't have a bag of French fries to cook at home, it doesn't get eaten. Okay? So create an environment that as the decision maker, you all the choices are acceptable. Okay, so the child only has to choose among the vegetables you like. And I don't actually encourage potato. But if you can, maybe you can bake it, then you can drizzle some cheese. Wendy's used to do that, no? Baked potato. So okay, that makes them get to know the potato in another way, not only French fries. But if they really insist on it, like autistic kids, sometimes we make it so big. It's called a wedge already. Na? And we give the portion so small. About the question regarding Jollibee, I'm still struggling to write it. But anyway, if you are the decision maker, you buy the meals, you drive the car, just don't bring the child to the fast food outlet. Or if you really want to go back because you miss it as well, make it a once a month thing, nothing more, because it forces you to be creative with the other things they will learn to eat. And about the comment, boyfriend upset that girlfriend is eating salad. What's his definition of love? Love should be a bit unconditional, regardless of what they eat. So I suppose he will grow. She will grow as well. Maybe she'll decide she doesn't like him. Um, well, I don't want to fight over it. I happen to be one of those. I'm more carnivore than vegetarian. I was in my 40s before I started to eat vegetables. So there's hope for that person. There's hope for that person. We usually find our reasons to eat, but I suppose no, they're not only eating together. That's why they're still in a relationship. No? But if he's really strongly against her eating a salad, that's going to be problematic. At least they're still 17, so they have a lifetime to go.
Thank you so much for that. Yeah, I got some notes here that is very well worth sharing. You said earlier that um, what mother eats during pregnancy is actually very, very important. So I have this notion that during pregnancy, what music you listen to, and what emotion you have during pregnancy would actually affect the child. It's so nice that it's so practical that what mother eats during pregnancy would actually affect also the baby. So it's we are truly an influencer from the beginning, especially moms.
Exactly. Exactly. And we actually, because we keep eating unhealthy food, we actually create insulin resistance at newborns. No? They develop preference for sugar. It prevents their body from absorbing B vitamins, and they have attention deficit. So we can actually prevent all of that by becoming more conscious, even before we realize we are pregnant. I'm reading a book now that stipulates, it's called Better Brain. Now, it stipulates that mental health is only, it's treated primarily with nutrition. Then
Very,
medicines will come second. And they were talking about not single vitamins, but multi supplements. So we're really offering a very good habit to children, and they will avoid mental health issues as well.
very interesting. Speaking of brain, you mentioned, correct me if I'm wrong, is this correct? Brain accepts water than any other
Yes.
liquid?
Mm.
Oh my, yeah,
It
that's
isn't even,
that's
it's
interesting.
actually going to force you to count water. No?
Mm.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's going to force you to count water, not just the other drinks.
there is this notion nowadays that you only drink water when you need it. You know, like
Mm.
there were some people saying that you only need to drink water when you feel thirsty, not like you need to have 8 to 10 glasses a day. What can
Yeah,
you?
you're not supposed to think in terms of how many glasses a day. You really have to drink when you're thirsty. That's a good answer. Because some people they overload themselves with water and they can feel symptoms of electrolyte imbalance. But you will realize that most of your hunger pangs are actually thirst. So what would be a better habit is when you feel hungry, you drink water first and then you wait. If the hunger pangs passes, your brain was just thirsty. The more you are thinking, you're solving problems, you're working on ideas, the more your brain is busy and it will get dehydrated. So, and for some people, I don't know if I should, okay, I'll say it now because it's in the other book. If you're suffering from migraines, you may want to consider putting a little salt in your water because it helps the electricity in the brain and it calms down the migraine. Okay?
Wow,
Mhm.
very interesting indeed.
It is
It's
an
worth
interesting book.
sharing. It's worth sharing to our friends and families. Actually, all right. Last note that I have is actually when you said that during sleep, when their eyes are ready, they would get up. Like
Yes.
it's amazing that actually it's also applicable to adults because me being personally being a health conscious also I sleep at the same time and without any alarm clocks your eyes will open up and if you continue sleeping you would get tired actually do you
Yes.
have any scientific explanation about that?
Uh, that's a different book. But yes, yes. The body first, the brain actually first repairs, and then they work on rejuvenation next. So you really need time for both to happen. And that's the time your body wakes up when they feel refreshed already. A parent is more responsible putting the child to bed early so that the child can listen to his body when it's time to get up. Rather than sometimes the parents are guilty, they watch something, they talk, they're on their phones, no, and the child will not sleep because it's a Filipino thing, no? You sleep with your parents until they kick you out of the room. So they're also not sleeping early. So in the morning, they panic with the parent. Everybody's waking up, brain fog, no, upset, plus anxious, no, because time is close to the time they leave, or there's not enough time for breakfast, etc. So it's better to start early in bed. No? And then you wait. I haven't used an alarm clock in years, but usually I'm up by 4 or 5, no? Because that's about the right time for me to get up. But I still wish I slept longer. I envy children who can sleep long because I know they will grow taller. And then I notice now the kids who do sleep long are taller. Uh, so it's not the day sleep, it's not the nap, it's the night sleep. So
Oh,
a parent should be very sensitive about the time and do not, if I may suggest, do not give children gadgets in their rooms or they won't sleep.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
all right.
if they have a television, they have their Xbox and their tablets, that's terrible. It's one way of encouraging them to be like the parent who will, keep himself awake, streaming or watching things. Yeah. Or playing games, even worse.
All right. Thank you so much for that practical tips and wisdom that you have for us tonight, Miss Romina. Really, really appreciate here it. Yes. Thank you everyone for being alive and active on our chat box.